like we're live. There's a slight delay in this video process. But I'm going to talk to you today about something that's interesting, dangerous, something that the politicians don't want to talk to you about. Donald Trump ain't going to talk to you about. Hillary Clinton's not going to tell you and be upfront with you. Bernie Sanders ain't going to tell you what's really going on in the economy. And it's not looking good. Right now, there are 6 pillars of the next economic collapse. And I'm going to go over these 6 pillars here with you. Don't want to frighten you. So hide your kids, hide your wives if you're afraid. But if you want to know what's really going on in the economy and how to anticipate this next economic collapse that is about to happen and is imminent and will be worse than the 2008 housing crisis, then stay tuned, because I want to share with you some of the stuff I'm doing and exactly why you should be prepared for what's about to happen. All right. So 6 factors are going to cause the next economic crash. Most economic crashes only have 2 factors that come to create an economic disaster. Okay. Like the 2008 housing collapse, or the 2001 dot-com bubble bursting, the 1989 savings and loan crisis, and the 1973 oil and stock market crash. All of those had 2 factors that caused a recession, or even close to a depression in the 2008 example. However, this next collapse is going to have 6 factors that come into play that's going to massively affect the length of this economic hit, but it's also going to increase the severity of the economic hit. So the first one is called the Amazon effect. Dozens of major retailers and major companies, and who, by the way, employ a big chunk of the U.S. sector, have started to see this effect. So Sears, JCPenney's, Macy, American Apparel have all announced massive closures of their brick and mortar stores. Now, this doesn't just affect these stores, because this also affects the inventory, the people that sell the products that sell inside these stores. This is going to have a massive impact on the supply chain. So because now the brands that were being carried, these brands now have to figure out how to market themselves online, which most of them don't know how to and aren't prepared to make that shift. Okay. Investors have seen $4.6 billion loss in market value in the retail sector over the past few years. $4.6 billion loss. Okay. Massive. This is not only going to affect employees, people that work in the retail sector, it's also going to affect people that invest in the retail sector, in the stock market. It's also going to have, going back to the employees, retail accounts for 15.2 million jobs and approximately 15% of our total economy. So imagine 15% of our economy just in retail is going to effectively disappear. So not only is the stock market going to get shook, employment will deteriorate for people working in retail. Even if the stores manage to stay open, okay, they will likely do so by scaling back on the amount of employees that they have and embracing automation. And in fact, we're seeing stores like Amazon, or companies like Amazon, that are already planning and mapping out completely almost employee-less stores. Not to mention the developers of these malls who rely on large anchor stores like Macy's, like Sears, like JCPenney's to be the anchor for their whole mall. And as soon as these companies crumble, effectively, what's going to happen is all the malls, all the retail mall, all these developments are going to collapse. Okay, because they don't have those big anchor chains anymore. And in fact, we're already seeing that. Recently, a mall called the Galleria Mall of Pennsylvania, which was once valued at $190 million. Okay, the bank foreclosed on it because the developer wasn't able to make payments on it anymore. And this mall sold for $100, not $100 million, not $100,000, $100. So we're already seeing it. In fact, if I spend a lot of time in like Tennessee, kind of middle America, you're basically seeing a complete economic meltdown of small business, brick and mortar, and even these large retail chains. So what happens is a Macy goes under, and then all the little small mom and pop businesses that were relying on Macy to bring in the core people to shop, all those businesses, like a domino effect, just go right out under that as well. Okay, so retail, right? The next one. That's one pillar. That's one pillar that's gonna cause the economic collapse. The next one, remember, there's 6. That's not even the biggest one. the two one is the auto crisis. You probably didn't think of this one. Demand for cars is disappearing. Millennials just don't have enough money to buy cars. They don't have the credit to buy cars. And most of them are not, but a lot of them are now utilizing rideshare such as Uber and Lyft. And what's happening is like all these leases are starting to come back. So there's traditionally leases were a way to kind of save money. Okay. And now they're scaling back. Okay. They're scaling, excuse me. Now they're getting so many leases coming in. All right. They're getting so many of these returns. They're left with an over inventory glut of all these cars they can't get rid of and nobody wants anymore. So we're going to see a collapse in the auto sector as well. And also with the self-driving cars, with the combination of self-driving cars and Uber and Lyft, okay, there's going to be a lot less auto ownership. Okay, people are going to be opting for ride sharing over purchasing or leasing a car. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, the housing market is currently crashing. All right, millennials are saddled with student loan debt, so they can't afford homes, and so to compensate, the government just eased the Dodd-Frank bill earlier this year to make it easier to loan people with student loans. So basically, we're having a repeat of what happened in the 2008 mortgage crisis. We have a scenario where the government has eased up regulations on loaning, and we go into about a 5-year glut in a drunken state of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, and we don't have the money to pay it off. I mean, this is just the way the human brain works. We're just we don't have self-control. As soon as you give somebody access to credit, they go on a drunken rampage. Okay, hopefully I'm still connected here. The problem is people keep calling me and interrupting my fucking live stream. Okay, so number 3 is the housing crash, which is similar to what had happened. So Frank Dodd just got lifted, right? So we're going to see a repeat of what happened in 2008. Number 4, the student loan crisis. Americans have $1.9 trillion in student loan debt. Give me 1 second. After that person called, it kind of messed up stuff. Okay. $1.9 trillion in student loan debt. The cost of education is going up. The average student loan debt is going up, but wages and jobs are not going up along with it. In fact, what colleges are training is for jobs that are disappearing, that no longer exist in the economy. Okay? So there not only are people paying record numbers to get a loan that they're going to have to pay off for the rest of their life, and if their parents co-sign for that loan, their parents are now held accountable, which we're going to get to that in a second, baby boomers and their lack of retirement plans. Okay? So what's happening is we're paying record numbers for education for jobs that don't fucking exist anymore, people. Okay, do you see the problem with that? The average tuition, college tuition, is 25% of a median household income. People are risking their financial future to get trained for jobs that simply do not exist anymore and will never exist again. Okay? Half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 7 out of 10 Americans have less than $1,000 to their name. Okay? Now let me repeat that. Half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 7 out of 10 have less than $1,000 to their name. Okay? I'm only to number 4. I got 2 more. Do you see why I'm so concerned about this next economic hit and why I think it's the time to prepare your family to take care of what you need to do to set your family up with wealth, multiple streams of income, and to prepare so you're not one of the many Americans and people are all around the world that are going to suffer worse than the 2008 housing crisis, because all we did was do a stopgap. We didn't solve any of the fundamental issues. All we did is kick the bucket down the road a little further, and all it's doing is making the mess even worse when the big one hits. All right? Number 5, baby boomers do not have enough money to retire. Last year, Go Banking Rates published research conducted with over 1,500 adults over the age of 55, and about 30% of the respondents aged 55 and over did not have retirement savings. 26% reported less than $50,000 saved for retirement. $50,000. Okay? That's one medical issue, and their whole savings is completely gone. An additional, when considering a typical benchmark needed for successful retirement, 54%, 1 in 2 Americans, of older Americans, lack sufficient retirement funds. So are you going to, okay, so maybe you're set up. Maybe you think you're set up. Are you ready, prepared to tell your parents, hey, good luck on all your medical disasters that are about to happen or that are currently happening because I can barely support my own family? No, you want to be able to take care of your family. Because just like when they took care of you, right? But how are you going to do that if the average person only has $1,000 in their bank account? Okay, so if you don't see this writings on the wall, okay, then when it hits and you're not prepared, you are going to suffer. Okay, we're going to suffer, and your family's going to suffer, and you're going to have to look at your family in the eyes and tell them that you are not prepared to provide for them. Okay, so that's number 5. Now, number 6, you guys hear me talk about this all the time. Automation. Automation will take approximately 30% of the total jobs in the economy in under 15 years, and I think that's conservative. So what are you going to do? What are we going to do? I'll tell you what I've done. There's certain things that I've done to prepare and to start prepare and to create wealth and abundance for my family. So when these times hit, I'm actually in a position to benefit and not suffer from this economic collapse. I'm waiting for the economic collapse so I can buy. While everyone's retracting, while everyone's hiding and try to conserve like that happened in the last crisis, I'm going to be buying, take, grab. Because we always spring back. Okay, I'm not saying it's an apocalypse. I'm just saying we're about to hit a new economic model has to be created out of this. This is the big collapse. This is the one that is either going to change stuff for the better, or we're going to keep experiencing all these collapses, but in like much quicker time frames, and it's going to be very unstable for the economy. I actually am an optimist. You know, you're hearing these things, you may be thinking, well, Ronnie, fuck, you're such a pessimist. I'm not. I'm an optimist. That's why when the economy drops and when the crash actually hits, I'm going to be buying because I am an optimist. I do believe in the economy. I believe in the free market. I just think the free market needs a major adjustment, and it's time for that to carry out. I mean, you know, we can't just keep kicking the can down the road and hoping something will change. You know, you can't change you fundamentally, the system has to break. Fundamentally, the modern day education institution has to change. Modern day healthcare has to change. Okay, I mean, until those things happen, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe there's going to be a living wage, which I call a living slave wage. Okay, so but you can't bank on that. You can't count on that. In fact, even if you did count on it, it's not going to be a good life. It's not going to be a life that's going to provide any type of stability for you and your family and your loved ones. So I'll just leave you with this, you know, prepare now. Right now, we're in the eye of the storm. Right now, we're in good economic times. You know, you can set up an e-commerce business. You can set up a lead generation business. You can set up an agency business. Is it going to crash anytime soon? That's a good question. Okay, so the Dodd-Frank, the deregulation of loans, to me, is the biggest market. That, to me, is a huge market signal. Okay, and that just happened. So if you Google that Dodd-Frank right now, Trump just lifted it or severely eased the restrictions. So in a nutshell, Dodd-Frank is a bill that was passed after the housing crisis of 2008 that limited how banks could loan money to people and how much they had to have in reserve in order to loan money. So basically, it limited the type of riskier loans that they would give people. But as that's lifted, they're going to be able to give riskier and riskier loans with absolutely no downside. So the banks are going to do it. Well, there is a downside because eventually what's going to happen, just like in 2008, all of a sudden you're going to have these millennials who have no access who have no business accessing large credit lines and loans are very soon going to start accessing these very large lines of credits and loans and buying houses they can't afford. And we're just going to see a repeat of 2008. So to answer your question, it's not for another 3 more years, I think, but nobody can predict these things. All we can do is look at the market indicators, look at the signal, and prepare and prepare and prepare and prepare. And don't be the person that sits on the fucking sidelines. We're not talking about yourself, because you could say, well, I'm all right. I'm just going to crossbow and hunt boars or whatever, right? But fuck, dude, how about your family? How about your parents, the people that you care about? Are you going to take care of them, or are you just going to leave them to suffer in this economic time? So we all know the only person that can prepare and take care of ourselves is numero uno, right? Donald Trump ain't gonna don't give a fuck. He ain't gonna take care of you. Bernie Sanders he's gonna be in his lake house, his multi-million-dollar lake house. That dude don't give a fuck about you. Nobody gives a fuck about you and your family well-being except for you and your family. And if you're not preparing now, if you're not taking the necessary steps, unfortunately, you're going to have to look in your family's face and watch them suffer. And I that's why I'm so passionate about telling you guys. And a lot of people are always like, dude, you're like a conspiracy theorist, or you're a survivalist. Because like, I'm actually buying farmland in Tennessee, 42 acres. Okay, like if the shit goes down, I want to be able to at least grow my own vegetables and take care, of the very minimum survival stuff. So I'm preparing not only on that level farmland, but I also have multiple streams of income. I'm not focused on bitch money right now. Bitch money is focused on $100,000 a year. I'm not focused on $100,000 a year ain't going to prepare my family in time. Okay, $100,000 a month barely does. Okay, so if you are still trying to make your first 6 figures, you need to think way bigger. You need to accelerate your intensity. You need to accelerate your focus on how you're going to achieve this goal to shield your family and protect them. So, in fact, this could be the biggest time of abundance, because during economic collapse, there's so many people that suffer, but the smart ones that prepared are actually that it's the time of abundance for them, because they have the resources, the means to grow, and buy stuff at a fraction of the cost. And actually, when the dust settles, these people that are smart are in a much better position. So actually, when the economy starts going up, that was the opposite time was their time of abundance. So you got to ask yourself, do you want this economic collapse to be your time of abundance, or do you want it to be your time of suffering and self-realization that you fucked up by not taking the precautions, getting the training, getting the education, starting your business, doing the things necessary to prepare you and your family? So anyway, I'll leave you with that. I'll see if you guys have any questions. I saw a few questions. I'm using this between student loans and subprime auto loan bubbles. I'm surprised it hasn't. I agree. I think that I think there was a few things propping up the economy right now. But I do truly believe that we are just an absolute fraction millimeter away from something big happening, and I'm prepared. Are you guys? Anyway, I'll see. I don't know if I can only see the comments as they come, unfortunately. Good shit. Oh, hey Adam, thank you. So anyway, until next time, life is too short to get rich slow. If you want quality training, look at the comments below. We have the School of Hidden Knowledge, where we're sharing the strategies of how not only we've built multiple 7-figure businesses, but how I've showed my students how to build multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses. Prepare yourself, whether it's my education, other people's education, enrich your mind, start your businesses, stack your multiple streams of income, and start preparing yourself and your family so it's your time of abundance. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I always do this, and I got to figure out how to end it. I should have it ready. Anyway, bye.